question we regularly get from sellers is, when is the best time to sell?
So we thought we'd make a video for you to answer that question.
I'm Tammy Gagnon.
And I'm Mark Paris at the Selling Okanagan Real Estate Group at RE/MAX Kelowna. The quick and obvious answer to the question of when is the best time to sell your property is when there's an imbalance in the marketplace favoring a seller. Essentially, a seller's market.
This can mean more multiple offers and better outcomes for the seller.
In a typical year, we see 4 months, March, April, May, and June, that are very, very strong and can compose almost 50% of the sales in any given year. But we've had some atypical years lately. For example, at the beginning of 2022, we saw a very, very strong sales-driven market in January, February, March, which is very strange. And our listing volumes were relatively low.
And that pushed the market into overdrive with exploding prices.
But so that we give you a full and complete answer, it's often best to look at the numbers. Take a look at the previous month's sales volumes, and then take a look at the listing volumes or the number of properties available. And if you divide the total number of properties available by the previous month's sales, you're going to find out how many months of inventory you have on the market. And if you've got 4 to 6 months, generally that's considered to be a relatively balanced market. And if you've got less than 4 months of inventory on the market, well, that's considered to be a seller's market, when there's a lot of buyers and not a lot of property on the market. 7 or more months of inventory means it's a buyer's market. Lots of property to buy and not that many buyers in the marketplace.
We've had plenty of years where sales typically peak in July, then cool off starting in August, and continue to cool until the following spring. This is what I would call typical behavior.
Why do we keep our finger on the pulse of the market? Because things are not always typical.
Now, in the greater sense of the question, when is the best time to sell? Of course, that depends on your circumstances.
So if you've been transferred out of area and you have to report for work in that area on the 1st of next month, well, now is the best time for you to be selling. Alternately, if you're trying to get every dollar out of your property, it will take some local knowledge to answer that question. Because even in a buyer's markets, there can be shortages that exist either in a particular neighborhood or in a particular price range, or even in a particular property type.
However, sometimes it doesn't really matter. For example, if you're buying and selling in the same market. If you're selling a strata property and want to move to a single-family home. If those two categories are experiencing the same market conditions, it won't make much difference.
However, once again, local knowledge is critical because those markets can behave differently, and oftentimes do.
So if you're wondering, when is the best time to sell your property? With your given circumstances, reach out to us at sellingokanagan.com or send us an email. The email addresses are on your screen. I'm Tammy Gagnon.
And I'm Mark Paris at the Selling Okanagan Real Estate Group at RE/MAX Kelowna.